All right, so I've been buying one stock consistently over the last year, and I'm going to continue to invest in that company through 2025. And that company is Walt Disney World. Now, on this channel, I talk about index funds, don't pick winners and losers, you can't time the market, and I've thrown all of that advice away when it comes to buying Disney. Let me tell you why in this video. And if you stick around to the end, I'll actually show you my portfolio and some of the transactions that I've made. All right, first up, so let's look at the stock itself. It's trading around $113 a share. It's up 22% for the year, which isn't too bad. And the PE ratio is around 42. I looked over at Apple to see where they're at. They're around 40. And I think that just generally the market's gone up quite a bit since the election. But if we jump over here, there's actually a different story. Ever since the bubble here around 2020, the stock has been selling off. And at its lowest, it was around 60% off its high. Now we're somewhere here around 44% from its high. So I think there's still quite a bit of upside to get back to where it was. And I believe it will get back to where it was and continue to grow. So let's talk about some of those reasons. The backstory here is I lived in Orlando for over 10 years. That's where I built my company. I went to school. I sold my business. I got married. I did a lot of things in Central Florida. And Disney was obviously a major part of the economy there. I don't actually think I realized how big it was because I personally barely went to the park. I went maybe 2 or 3 times in 10 years. There's a lot of Disney adults. They go to Epcot. They get super wasted. People go there regularly. That was not me. Now, later, I ended up moving from Orlando and I ended up having kids. And this is when the light bulb went off. It's because there's really nothing more amazing than going to Disney World with your children, seeing all the intellectual property, all the brand and characters come to life in such a beautiful, amazing property. There's nothing like it. And so that's part of the catalyst and thesis we have here for Disney and the appreciation. If you look at this headline, they plan to invest $60 billion into theme parks. And I work in technology. And so, you've probably been inundated with the idea of AI and autonomous driving and robots and all these things. And I believe there's going to be this craving for people to have real, awesome, magical experiences. And that's what Disney is going to provide. You saw this after COVID. People were sick of it. They wanted to go to concerts. They wanted to go to theme parks. They wanted to go on cruises. And I think that's only going to get stronger as time goes on. This headline from Yahoo, the CFO is talking about investing and feeling really bullish on the cruise lines as well. So there's a lot of revenue from these different places, streaming, parks, cruising, hotels, everything that all the IP coming together to really drive revenue and growth. Speaking of growth, if you think about Disney Plus, I don't know if you subscribe to Disney Plus, we do. Let me jump over here. Streaming did decline, and we saw that in the data, but I think that was a little bit common across multiple streaming services, and it has since rebounded. Part of that could be because of the password crackdown. I'm sure you faced that. It's not fun with Netflix and others, but it does help to drive revenue and grow the streaming numbers. Disney also announced that they're going to bring ESPN to Disney Plus, which has been launched since earlier this month. So that's pretty exciting. If you're a big sports fan, just having that ability to stream that through where you're already watching is another big win. All right, so let's talk about movies and that revenue stream, and that's kind of been a sore spot for Disney for a while. They had these major blockbuster hits. Think of things like Frozen and others, just epic, intellectual property, really popular. And then they went on this decline. There was things like Buzz Lightyear movie or something like that, Elemental, some of these other Pixar films, it just didn't ever take off. Some of the originals on Disney Plus, those things struggled too. And I think there was just kind of the shadow of, hey, are we able to create iconic intellectual property again? You saw some of that from Encanto and Moana. And that's where it seemed to turn around with the release of Inside Out 2, a huge box office smash, and now Moana 2, $600 million globally, which is really, really promising. And what's so cool about this with Disney is they are able to release these things in cinema. They're able then to monetize them through all the merch, all the toys, all the crap that we spend too much money on. They're able to then create actual intellectual property experiences on their cruise ships and rides at their parks. Put these on their streaming platforms to drive subscriptions, and it's all working together to tell a really cool story. It's kind of what they do. All right, so let me actually show you my portfolio here of Disney. Here's the transaction history. You can see I opened this initial position as 10 shares back in September of 2023, and I just kind of kept my eye on the stock. And then later in 2024, I began to just start to scale into the position. I'm up to about 70 shares. I think my average price is under $100. And yeah, you can see that it pays a dividend of about 8.8%. And I'm working my way up to 100 shares and we'll continue on from there. I think that at that point I could sell some covered calls over time. And overall, I'm actually just investing in this with probably a 5 to 10 year window. That's when a lot of the theme park construction will complete. That's where we'll see just kind of some of these other investments the company has made and see if those pay off. And honestly, I just really enjoy it. I think it's kind of that Peter Lynch advice, buy and invest in the companies that that you're familiar with, that impact your life. And so Disney falls into that category for me. All right, there's no technical analysis. I'm not looking at balance sheets. That is just the things that come to mind when I think about where I want to throw a few dollars to put a bet on a company that I interact with at this point pretty much every day. So what do you think? Have you been to Disney World lately? Maybe you're in California. Have you been to Disneyland? Are you a subscriber to Disney Plus? Let me know. And am I making a mistake? If so, drop it in the comments. We'll find out and give me a couple years. All right, we'll do another video soon. Thanks, guys.